Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Junk Journal January 2025. It is January 11th, and I am getting this video up late. I slept in today and didn't have it recorded ahead of time, and that's okay. This video might be a long one because I want to go over some different things. Our prompt today is magazine. And so I wanted to give you some different ideas about magazines, what kind to use, and then things that you can actually do with the images in them. So I have some Mary Jane magazines. I have this vintage McCall's. I have some vintage, this is like from 1976. And then I have vintage photography magazines from the 50s. So when I come across old magazines, I like to pick them up because generally you can pick up magazines, vintage magazines, I would say cheaper than you can find vintage books. And usually there's a stack of them that they're just wanting to get rid of. So if you go to like yard sales or thrift stores, things like that. Well, not thrift stores, I've never gotten them. Yard sales is where I've gotten most of my vintage magazines. And I have lots and lots of them because I think I got an entire stack bigger than this for $5. So it's a really, really great resource if you're wanting vintage papers. But then, oh, I just about knocked over my stand here. Sorry. I know some people are good at editing that stuff out, but that would just take way too long for me to do. So, and this is the real world. Okay, so another thing, especially if you're into botanicals. So each year from like different seed companies or companies that sell stuff, I get their seed catalogs. And so it's a catalog, but it's basically a magazine. So if you're wanting to do botanicals, once I've gone through them for the year, then I can go in and you can see these beautiful images that are in the seed catalogs. So if you're doing, like I said, a botanical, then these are great. This is like just beautiful. Some of the things they'll really, especially when it comes to the flowers or stuff, but they'll stage the pictures. I feel like it's dark today. Don't know why. Hopefully not. The videos always come out better than I think with the coloring or lighting. So they're a great resource. This one here was the 2024 from Heirloom Roses because I really like Heirloom Roses. I need to get this year's because I do need to get some more roses. But look at these. They're, I mean, just, they're beautiful. They're great for so many things. White background. So, I mean, if you're not planning on buying things, I don't think you should necessarily order catalogs. Maybe I'm wrong. Look at that picture. But I actually order from these companies. So they're just so beautiful. I definitely need. I have a gopher. And he took out 2 of my rose bushes, so I only have 1 left. I'm so upset. So yeah, so these are great for just the floral ones, especially for anything, the seed catalogs, especially if you're doing botanical, and they'll send them to you for free, or sometimes they'll charge you just a couple of dollars. So then I have these Mary Jane magazines. I used to subscribe to it. I did a year of Victoria magazine because I literally did it because I love it, and then I wanted to use it then after I read it in my journals, and I cannot find any of them right now, but that's okay. So I went through, and this is an image out of it's got some flowers and an old milk can. It's an image out of the Mary Jane's Farm. I just cut it out. And what I wanted to show you guys is something I do that helps get rid of that shiny on the page. And it's something I discovered by fluke. So I ordered this acrylic medium by Handy Art, designer's palette, modeling paste. I ordered this on Amazon. It wasn't expensive. I think it was like maybe 10 bucks. And it's a huge bottle. It's 32 ounces. Don't quote me on the price, but I usually don't spend a whole lot amount on my stuff. And when I got it, it does work as a modeling paste, but it almost dries clear. And I was kind of bummed out by that because I was expecting it to be more like gesso, I guess, or thicker, and it wasn't. I'm looking for something to work on. Oh, this is an old magazine page, but I'm not gonna use these images. Oh, actually those are nice in the background. There's so many great things. Sorry, I was trying to be prepared here. Okay, I apologize for the noise. Once I get that down, it should be quiet. Okay. So what I can do with this is I can put a thin layer, because like I said, this particular brand, and I don't know, it's the only modeling paste I've ever bought. It may be all of the brands do the same, but I can put this a thin layer on and then even use my hand to thin it or to rub it out to get rid of the lines from the brush. And when this dries, it dries matte. And it doesn't even really look like there's anything on here. I hope this is coming through. Get a little bit more over here. So that's pretty well covered. And then I'm gonna pause the video. I'm just gonna blow dry this with a dryer real quick, so you guys don't have to hear the noise. Okay, so let me put this on here and so you can see that. So now, if you can tell, there is, and I don't know if this will come up good on the video, there is no shine left on that. And so I didn't have to sand it. I know I've heard some people say they sand it and scuff it, and that does work. But I just think this works so well to get rid of all that shine, because I think I've even tried Mod Podge, and it doesn't work that great. I think it still leaves a little bit of a shine. So if you are wanting to work with magazines, if you have a lot of magazines, like newer ones especially, then this, it is so worth it, because you can get amazing, amazing images out of magazines. And even the newer ones, you can get them so cheap. It's just a great resource, you know, used magazines. And then what you can do is just take, if you're wanting to give it a vintage look, take your Distress Oxide, and you can just go, oops, over it. That's not what, it's kind of dry. Got string on it. You can go over it and turn it into like a very, it's calling up on me, vintage image, vintage looking image. Now, the only other problem sometimes is that, like, this is an old image. I mean, it has like an old vintage milk glass. If you're doing a modern image of something, trying to give you an idea of something like this, for example, this is a modern image. They're wearing jeans. So you can tell that the textiles in here are more of a modern. So even if you make that image like vintage and aged, it's not gonna have the full effect of a vintage image, if you understand what I'm saying. Like something like this, if you used this picture here, that is, it's a very modern picture. So you can still make it look really cute if, say, if for example, if that was what you wanted, but something that says gluten-free, you know, is not from a vintage era, you know. Like here's another example, the clothing she's wearing. You can, this is a beautiful image, and you can cut this out and you can distress it, but it's not gonna have that full authentic feel of a vintage photo, which there's nothing wrong with that. It's, you know, depending on your journaling, but I just kind of want you to think about that when you're picking out your images. Like this one here, it kind of looks like a vintage shoe, but it's still a newer shoe, you know, newer style of socks. So that will always kind of throw off the picture. Now, whereas like this one, that would be a great one. That looks like a vintage plate. Even if that's not vintage textiles, then there a placemat there, you could still make that seem like it is a true vintage photo. And that's what I'm going to do today, is make some like vintage photos out of these things. Here's another example of one. It's a vintage item, so therefore you will get that real vintage feel from it. But let's see if I can find one. Like this one is a good one because it's vintage things in there. Oh, look at that cute photo. Like, let me see if there's some, I mean, so depending on the types of magazines that you get, for example, we can come back to here. So it's so funny because like so much of my stuff does have a vintage feel to it. Hopefully you understand what I'm saying. Oh, all of these have vintage images. Vintage things in the background of it. That's so funny. I thought I'd seen some. Well, like this, for example, here. It is an older camera, but it's not really a vintage. So you're going to be able to tell the age of the photo a little bit, no matter what you do to it, by what you have in it. So now I have this distressed, so that looks like an old photo. So then what I want to do is I want to back this on some paper. And this is a coffee dyed and turmeric dyed, so I wasn't super happy with the way this came out. I'm going to just do a rough cut. This came out a little bit yellow, but I can come in here and add a little more brown to it to get rid of that. And I'm just doing the edges because this is, I'm going to make this look like a old Polaroid. So let me get my little cutter. This is 2.5 wide, and I want a 1/4 inch on each side, so I want this to be 3 inches wide. And then this is almost 3 3/4, so I want a 1/4 on the top, and then like almost a 1/2 on the bottom. So let's try that. Probably should have inked it after I cut it down, but that's okay. So then I'm going to attach this with glue. My desk is cleaned off, but I have a lot of stuff that I'm using right now. Okay. Oh, don't do it that way. You need to do it this way. So how is everyone doing today? I like to get straight into my videos because when I'm watching a video, I like short introductions because there's so much to watch on here. And if it's not something I'm particularly interested in that day, then I want to be able to move on to the next one. So that's why I try to get right into my videos. I hope you're all doing well. Again, I want to thank everybody for the prayers for California. It is a hard time that California is going through right now. And I am safe. Our power is back on. It might go off again next week. Got that a little uneven. So it might go off again next week. For safety. So I'm just trimming this down because I want those edges to be a little bit smaller than I measured. And that's okay. There we go. So now we have a wonderful, sorry for the noise, vintage Polaroid. And I think it's cute. And I don't think, if you were looking at this, I don't know that you would know that that came from a magazine with everything that has been done to it. So I hope you guys can see that. I love it. And then it can go right in somewhere to the journal. And what's nice about these, I love doing the Polaroids. I'm obsessed with making faux Polaroids right now. Obsessed with it. It is one of my favorite things. It's nostalgic for me, and I just love it. Let me see about, I hope I don't mess it up. Oh yeah, I like that. What I love about doing these is they're so simple to do. You can take any image, put it on there. You can do the edging as big or small. You don't have to make it look like a Polaroid. You can do it the same all the way around, and that still looks really good. But then you have a journal card. It's a pretty picture and a journal card at the same time. So I want to do a few more of these to give you guys some more ideas. Now, I am using this modeling paste. They do sell it. Ugh, I can't talk. Let me take a drink. I'm very congested still. They do sell this in smaller jars. And like I said, I don't know if all modeling paste dries thin and clear like this will. But if you want to do with magazines, I think it's the easiest, fastest way, and I would highly encourage you to get this. If you don't or can't right now, because I do understand that financial times are tough, and there wasn't always a time that I could get things for sure. So let's see here. If you have an image, oh, here's a cute picture. Oh, but I like that also. Oh, here, we can just go with this one. I didn't even look on the back. Oh, that's fine. Let's just do this one for now. It is a really cute picture of a girl in the field of flowers there. Oh, I have to do that one. I really like that one. I'll make sure we're still filming good here. Yes. So then what you can do, I'm sorry, I'm behind I have a desk behind me that I'm looking into. because, oh, I know where my sandpaper is. Sorry. Okay. Okay, I'm back. I paused it because I couldn't find my sandpaper. I just ran downstairs, and I'm glad because of two things. One, you don't need sandpaper. A nail file sandpaper. They're cheap. You probably have one. So what you can do is just kind of go over it with the nail file, and you want to be gentle because essentially you're taking off that glossy coat, but it's taking off some of the color also. So that's getting rid of the shine really quick and easily without using anything. And it works really good. Then you take, it almost turns it into where it looks like a painting. Then you can take your distress ink, and you don't have to buy distress ink either. You can use, if you have an old pad, you can use just coffee water. You can take a brown, any kind of a brown, like a permanent marker, not one that's necessarily water soluble, I think. And you can take the tip out, the little felt thing, or even soak it in with rubbing alcohol, and then you can create an ink that way. There's so many ways. Maybe I'll do a thing on that. But when my pads get dried out, I don't buy them again. I just literally add coffee or tea water to it. I like a concentrated one. So now we come in here and we can distress the image. And it just totally transforms these images. It's just so amazing what it does. So there you go. Look at how that's been transformed. It has a slight sheen to it, but once you put it on and back it with something. So this one, let me trim this up a little bit better. Okay, I'm going to round the edges. But yeah, I wish you guys could see this in person because it almost looks like a little painting. It is so transformed from the original image, which you're seeing that happen. And then let's glue this. I hope this paper is not, plastic's not too rattly under me. Oh, here's the glue stick. Glue this down. And you can make your own glue too with cornstarch. It's pretty amazing. Let's just try to line that up how I want it. So this one I'm going to do even, or try to do it fairly even all the way around. A little bit. A little bit. And then I'm going to round the corners all the way around just to show you guys a different way. I'm just going to darken these edges a little bit. Okay, so then there's another one that it looks so vintage and faded. I love it. And it's so simple. And that one didn't really use hardly anything. So you can see I might have gone a little bit darker with the ink on that one. So there's two different ones. And then they're both journaling cards. And I'm going to embellish these in just a minute. I want to do just one more. Let's do one from here. Maybe. I mean, these are great for fussy cutting. Oh my goodness. Honestly, I'd forgotten I had this one until I went through. Let's just do one from kind of a magazine, that more of a magazine style that everybody might have. Which I know not everyone has a Mary Jane Farms magazine. I want to do that picture of that little girl with her doll, but then I really like that clip, so I'll have to come back to that. Let's see. I could have had photos picked out, maybe. See if I can find one in here, because this is really shiny. Let's do... the dill. That's an interesting one. So this is dill in a vase with dill pickles next to it. And that's the bouquet dill. I actually have ordered those seeds, or have them in my collection. But that's, I mean, when I am like putting flowers and things in my house, I use a lot of vegetables for in my flower arrangements. Because look at how pretty the dill is. It's just gorgeous, I think. Okay, so I want to try something. This I have never done. But when I went downstairs to get the nail file, I thought, I wonder if, and this is just flour and water, and it's almost like a pancake. It's fairly drippy. It's flour and water. And this might work, this might not. We're doing this right on video. But this is where my mind goes to things. So all of a sudden I thought, oh, let's try flour and water and see when that dries if it will leave a surface that's not shiny. I don't know if this will work or not. We're gonna try it. So let me pause the video now so that I can dry this real quick and we'll see. Okay, so it has taken away most of the shine. There might be a little spots where I didn't get to it. It has also left a little white all across it, which it has given it a great texture. I really think I'm gonna like this. So then when we come over with the ink to distress it, I wish you guys could see the texture on here. So where it's like the brighter colors, I want to concentrate a little bit more of the ink. and tone that down a little bit to make it look more vintage. Oh my gosh, this looks like a picture that has been through it. I love it. There you go. This is why I love working with mixed medias and different mediums. There is a little bit of a shine, but what it has done to transform that to looking vintage, like there's almost like there's glue or something on it. So this one I'm going to leave square and thin all the way around so we have a different look. Just cut. And I'll paste it on and then we'll... So yeah, flour and water. Give it a try. I'm excited about that idea. I haven't seen anyone do that, but I kind of was thinking, you know, when you do paper mache with like flour and water, oh, why did I do it that way? What am I doing? I'm so excited about this. Well, that's going to just be all sticky. I'm sorry, guys. I got so excited. Yeah, I was thinking like, all of a sudden the paper mache, I'm like, that doesn't come out shiny. I wonder what we could do with that. So if you have no supplies at all, you can still do this. And I just want to leave a really small edge around this one. And that is what I love about being creative. That's what I love about junk journals, mixed media, is you really can, if you just pause for a minute and think, okay, what do I have? You know, what would they have used years ago before they had all these things that we have now? Let me move that out of the way now. And now look at that. Look at how that's been transformed. I hope this is coming through good. I'm going to be doing more and more distressing using flour and water like that, because it's created that it's aged. Oh my goodness. Thank you, Holy Spirit, for that inspiration. Okay, so here's 3 different ones, 3 different methods. And honestly, for aging something, the flour and water one looks really cool. And my cardstock that I back this on is kind of lumpy and from being dyed, but you can just work with the paper and get it flat, or you can iron it. So there's 3 different images from magazines. And if I saw those, I would not think any of those came from a magazine personally. Not that there's anything wrong with that look. So, I mean, honestly, these are so beautiful. I don't even know if I want to embellish them because they're so pretty on their own. I don't think I'm going to. I was thinking I was going to, but then, because I'll probably put them in pages, you know, say put it on a page like that. I can clip it to a page, then that has the embellishment there, and then that way it makes it easy to write on. Where is my... There they are. So let me just show you. I'm going to dump this out. I haven't sorted this out yet. Let me show you what these will look like when they are just put on some pages. Yeah, with that page, I just think it's gorgeous. I like having some pockets like I did here with the tuck spot, but more than anything, I like just tucking or paper clipping stuff on and creating my pages like that. It's kind of pretty there. Let's see. So we have like here. Paper clips. Well, I have my big rusty one that I can put there. So see, with the rusty paper clip with the ruffles that we made yesterday, slide that over. I think that makes a beautiful page. Like, it's so, I'm just amazed at that one. I really am. I really like it. Let's see, what else do we have? Oh, that would be pretty there on that page. So let's try and do this. Let's try to safety pen using a safety pen that I've rusted. Come through. There we go. Oops, almost went too far. Let me pull that back down. Okay, there we go. So we have that just safety penned to that page. So there you have it. That one, and it could be safety penned to anywhere, but I like that. We have that one. We have that one. I really love that modeling paste look too, though. I like them all. And then we have that one. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Again, thank you for the prayers for California, for LA, for me. I know people have said they're praying for me too. I'm completely safe at this point. And yeah, we're not out of the woods yet, but hopefully all will be well, and we just trust in God. And I think that's it for this video. So today, my prayer for you who is watching this video is that today you will find comfort and rest, that you will be at peace in your life, and that you can have a moment that you can pause and cherish the life that you have, regardless of the circumstances. I pray that for all of you so much. Until next time, love always, Savannah.